What's up, yo? Don't be a ding-dong and waste your money on plugins. Instead, download the 5 free plugins that we're about to show you.
Hi, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to look at the 5 best free plugins of 2024 to help you with your music production. These didn't necessarily get released this year, but they're still the reigning champions. We'll look at synthesizers, metering tools, and effects plugins. I'll give a demo and a short overview of each one, and I'll show you where to get them. This list does not include AI plugins because those are a totally different animal, and I might actually make a separate video later on AI plugins. And try to spot the demonic entity somewhere in this video. Let's jump in. The first plugin we'll look at today is Vital by Vital Audio. It's free and it's an extremely powerful wavetable synth. As you can see, it has a pretty nice UI. Got 3 oscillators, envelope control, LFO control, effects. This synth is extremely customizable. I won't get into the details, but let's check out some presets so you can see what the synth is capable of. It comes with about 80 presets. And there's good news for those of you that have Splice. Splice has a lot of presets for Vital that sound really amazing. We'll check out a few of those later after we check out the stock presets. Here are some sounds that you can get out of Vital. Are you going to get that, or? Now let's check out some presets from Splice. If you don't have Vital yet, go pick it up for free and let me know how you like it. The link is in the description below. The next free plugin is Voxengo Span. It's a really handy audio spectrum analyzer. You can use it to see the overall balance of your mix across the spectrum, helping you find frequencies that might need some work.
Analyze your spectrum.
It shows your true peak and your RMS, and you can change this to LUFS by clicking here. You can reset the values by clicking the reset button. You can make general settings changes by clicking this button here. You can turn on high resolution. You can change it to the average. Additional settings can be done here. I like to use the average and then turn on smoothing at a 1/4 or a 1/3 octave to get a general idea of the character of your song or of your layer. Span is also a mid-size spectrum analyzer, so if I select this preset here, click mid to change it to the side profile, and then change the color to something a little brighter. Go back to the mid. Now we can change the underlay to be the sides. I'll put it on a song that I'm actually about to release. I'll put a link for that song below in case you wanted to check it out.
Go try me, that's real stupid. Go all out, it's all I do, babe.
This way of using Span is really helpful to make sure that your sides are in check and to make sure that you're mono in your bass frequencies. I also recommend you listen to your mix in mono to make sure there's no funny business going on. When I'm mixing or mastering a song for myself or a client, I like to compare the overall frequency character to another song that's already been released in a similar genre. It's really helpful. And Span is perfect for that. And that's it for the overview of Span. The link to download Span is in the description below. And thanks to AHEE for showing me this plugin a while back. If you all don't know AHEE yet, he's an amazing producer and has really awesome songs and tutorials on his channel. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. I'll link it below. So far, we've covered a synth and an analysis plugin. Next, let's look at an effects plugin. It's called Supermassive by Valhalla, and it's a reverb delay. This thing is pretty amazing. We have the typical dry-wet controls, delay controls, feedback controls. There's a width control here. Where it gets interesting is at the warp control. At 0, the delay stays the same, but when I crank up the warp, the delay lengths change, creating this super massive sound. Let's listen to some presets on some different melodies.
Falling back in line, but I don't wanna leave your love behind. Maybe I'm waiting for a sign.
So if you don't have Supermassive yet, consider picking it up. The link is in the description below. The fourth plugin that I'm going to share today is OTT by Steve Duda at X4 Records. I know, this is like the OG for electronic music. You've probably heard of it, but if you haven't heard of it yet, you need to know about it. I'll keep the demo on this one really short because 90% of you know about this one already. OTT already comes stock with Ableton Live, but if you're using a different DAW, I highly recommend you download it. OTT stands for over the top, and it's an aggressive multi-band compressor. OTT has up and down compression and is actually used as more of an effect than a compressor because it changes the sound so much. Let's have a listen. It just really makes the sounds come to life. But like I said, it is extremely aggressive. You can always dial back the amount here, which is like a dry wet knob to make it a little easier to swallow. Some people compare OTT to Sausage Fattener or Sound Goodizer. Let me know which one is your favorite. The next free plugin on the list is TDR Nova Dynamic EQ. This thing is like a Swiss Army knife. It has parametric EQ, dynamic EQ, multiband compression, and it even has sidechain functionality. So what is dynamic EQ? Well, it has the EQ parameters that you're used to, like Q, gain, and frequency controls, but it also has the controls that you're used to seeing on compressors, and you can control the dynamics of each node separately. Some use cases for dynamic EQ would be to keep a consistent low end, to tame sibilance issues on vocals, for example, or to fix other resonant peaks. It also has sidechain functionality, so you can cut specific frequencies only when the trigger, like a kick drum or a snare, hits. This helps your low end or your drums, for example, to play nicely. So let's take a closer look at TDR Nova. To add a node, just double click. You can click and drag and change the shape, the Q, frequency, and gain, like in a standard EQ. Click here to change the selected node. Click here to turn the nodes on or off. We can solo the node by clicking here. We have the dry-wet controls for parallel processing. There's an automatic gain compensation feature here. When we boost a frequency, the overall volume stays the same. This helps when you're making EQ decisions. To turn that off, click this button here. If we wanted to activate the dynamic EQ for a node, make sure your node is selected and click the threshold button. And we can change the dynamics with the threshold, ratio, attack, and release controls. If you want to learn more about compressors, I made a whole video about that. Check out that video here. Nova also has full band dynamic control. Just click on the side and click on the threshold to activate. To use the sidechain functionality, go up here, click external sidechain, and tell it what the sidechain trigger will be. In this case, it's the kick drum. And you can make your adjustments as needed. So there you go. Those are the basics of TDR Nova Dynamic EQ. The free download link is in the description below. So that's it for the best free plugins still in 2024. Now, if you decide to download these, you'll know exactly what you're getting. Let me know in the comments which free plugins are your favorites or if you have any questions. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of the next video. Thanks for watching.
Keep it real, homies. Catch you on the flip side.